It should be out now. I hope they let us know who you are. We are welcoming you to today's broadcast. Sunday Adelaja here. And Mayo, why you are the first one? How are you today? Old Olivia, blessings. Dora, Hotberry, blessings. Who else is there? Let us know. Let's welcome you. Oluwadare, Esther, Florence, Jigem, blessings. Eric Shembum, Kenneth Amobi, blessings. Oh, okay. Kenneth has shared already, so it's asking us to go and share. Shegun Fatuma. Let's go and share the link if you don't mind, everybody. Let's go ahead and share the link, please. Bobo from South Africa, Paulos from Stockholm, Cons, Obina, Grace, Nwoga, Dmitry Priester, Esther Kuganja, Pierre, Ogene Oshuku, Joy, Yvonne, Idowu. Please, will you please go ahead and share the link, because this might be a very important Tokumbo. Let's go ahead and share. Awoshina, Da Vinci, Barbara, Yan, Tiger, Fada, Agatha, Melly, Fred, Kelly. Yeah. Let's go and share the link, please. Agosa, Goba, Tyra, Charles. Yes, let's go and share the link. Fumi Adewusi. Let's go share the link, please. Alex. Yes, thank you. Everybody is saying they have shared. Yes, because we had a good time this morning. Pierre, Barbara. Okay, Oladeji, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Nice to see all of you. And now it's time to go. So let me introduce to you our guest for today. But before I introduce her, it's going to be, of course, Dr. Sufficient. Some of you already can guess about that. Yes, so, but before I introduce her to you, I also want to suggest that there is an idea that, because I gave, if you remember, any one of you was there in the morning, you will know that I gave 30 points in the morning that I need to talk about in the next few days. 30 points that I need to talk about in the next few days to help you deal with your financial situation. So, because it's 30 points, that's a lot. And if I'm going to be doing it one per day, that will take me 30 days. So instead of doing that, because actually I'm not so much interested in talking about financial topic right now. I wanted to do some other topics. So what I've been suggested to do is to take these topics twice a day. So instead of doing review from tomorrow, I'm going to be doing 2 teachings a day. I'm going to be doing 1 teaching in the morning and taking another teaching in the evening. So there will be 2 teachings in the day. That way we'll be able to, within a week, finish the whole 30 program, the list of 30 that I gave you. So I think, so I want to encourage all of you to be there every day from tomorrow, because what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about them two times a day, taking 2 topics a day. So 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. So they will come so fast, so that you'll be able to, know what to do, and you'll be able to, I'll be taking maybe two topics in the morning and 2 topics in the evening, something like that, so that we can finish it in a week. I hope you think it's a great idea. Many of you are writing that it's a great idea. So you need to, inform people, inform your friends, and let them be there, both morning and evening, to be able to watch and be able to finish the program on time. Okay. Tyra said it's a great idea. I love it. All right. Okay. Pastor Sufficient, Dr. Sufficient. That's our beauty queen here. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, Pastor. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes,
You're welcome to
they are
tonight's
here waiting for
review.
you. Yeah. They are all here waiting
Nice
for
to
you.
be with you again. Thank you,
Yes.
Pastor, for the privilege.
No problem. Did you watch the program this morning?
Yes, I did.
Yes. And what was your first impression? Talking about impression and emotions and what you thought about me coming today, just coming with 30 immediately.
Well, actually, I didn't. What I would say about it is, I feel it was actually a season of restoration for a lot of people, because I believe a lot of people are in financial bondage. A lot of people are really struggling in their finances. A lot of people are not really living to the fullest. So when you came up with that, I was very excited, for one. And secondly, when you started listing the points and everything, I could relate. So if for those who were there in the morning and those who will look at those points critically, you could easily relate, to each of those points, the areas that you've been missing and all that. And I was greatly blessed in the morning section. So, yeah, that was my impression about it.
Okay. So what do you think we should tell people? You that, you've had the privilege to hear me talk about finances. You've read this book, Money Won't Make You Rich. You've read the book, Money Won't Make You Rich.
Yes.
And so you have an understanding about this. But what do you think, me addressing this topic today in the morning and generally addressing this, what do you think this topic will do to people?
Well, basically, I feel it's actually a message that everyone should hear. I think it's a teaching that everyone needs. Because even if we are looking at it for the kingdom, for you to be able to fulfill your purpose in life, you need to be financially empowered. When the Bible says money answereth all things, that's true. So it's actually a topic that everyone needs. So I believe this is an empowerment. I believe it's a seed you're sowing into the life of people to restore them from the financial bondage they've been living in, because a lot of people have been living in these circles without even understanding what is going on. Some people work so hard, taking 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and their needs cannot even be met. Some people have even lost their families due to financial crisis and all that, taking 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Their children hardly get to see them. They don't know their parents and all that. So I believe it's not just a teaching, just like any other teaching. It's more than just a teaching. It's a deliverance. It's a restoration.
Deliverance.
Yeah, it's impactation. It's something that is going to help people, even into the long run. Yeah, it's more like a seed into people's future. And it's going to empower the body of Christ too, because I believe the body of Christ have been filled with the wrong teachings for a long time, and because of that, believers have been backward when it comes to wealth creation and all that. So this is one of actually those teachings that have kept us down. So with your teaching this morning and everything, I believe is an eye-opener. So anyone that was not there, I will encourage you to go and listen to that teaching in the morning, get the points. And secondly, I will also advise that irrespective of, I don't know what it's going to cost you, but try to be available for the week, as Pastor will take these teachings twice a day. And if you miss any section, make sure you go back to watch the videos. Trust me, by the time you finish this series and everything, you are going to have a mindset shift. And that mindset shift is going to shift you to the right direction and liberate you and set you on your way to your financial freedom. There is no other kind of, honor a man can have than the consciousness of the fact that you're financially free, you're able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, you're not working for money but your money is working for you, you're able to serve God the way you want, you're able to live your life the way you want, you're able to do for your family what you want to do. Even if you want to give to, you need to even be financially empowered for you to be able to give. So when it comes to the issue of finance, Pastor, I believe it affects every area of life, because we cannot even take the nations without it and all that. Yes. So I hear a lot of people say, okay, I don't want to talk about money and everything, but how can you be bankrupt? How can you be suffering from, lack and want, and you're going to preach to other unbelievers that are even well to do and telling them about how God can provide for all your needs and all that? So it simply means we are not even living in line with the scripture. So by the time we put ourselves in order, we get this understanding and, have a mindset shift about wealth creation, and we begin to create wealth for ourselves. We have a better platform to be able to teach others and to be able to impart the kingdom into others. So we have to live that lifestyle first before we can even take it out. Our life has to be an example. So the teaching this morning for me, it was actually, I don't know, this series is beautiful. It's restoration, because this is not something you hear every day. A lot of people pay so much to go for those financial classes and all that, personal development skills and everything concerning finance and everything. And, they pay so much and they don't even get a quarter of what you're given free of charge. So I think it's only wisdom for we to, sit down for the 1 hour or 2 hours every day and get these lessons that is going to change your life forever. Because when you know this and you begin to apply these laws, there is going to be a 360 degrees turn around for you in your life, in your finance. And, you can bring happiness back to your home again and all that. A lot of families, are in so much strife and everything because of financial issues and problems. Always on your toes, you're panting for your bills, for you to be able to meet up with your mortgage this and mortgage that and all that. There is no rest, there is no peace, you don't own your life anymore and all that. So I believe it's a message that is going to really empower a lot of people, and that is what that is what you are all about, and that is what every believer should be all about, empowering people, especially believers. Believers need to be empowered so that we can bring the kingdom to the earth.
Okay, some people are not here in the morning for sure. These are some new crowd of people. And the question I have for you is can you please go through what happened in the morning and tell us what really happened in the morning, and tell the summary of it, and maybe even go through the list of what happened, because they might not know what has really happened in the morning, because we're not talking about what happened.
Okay, if you give me a second, I'm going to post that list on the comment section now. So for those who were not around in the morning, or those who were not even able to see it, it's already there. I posted it, I wrote it out myself. Or those who were not able to write it down and they were there, you can have a complete list. I saw some comments of some people missing maybe one point or the other. So I already posted a comment there, and I don't know if they can see it.
Yes. So what you did is that you posted the total
comments,
teaching.
Sorry, the points you made of the morning.
The 30 points.
The 30 points, yeah.
Okay.
So the first point you made, you were like, you must believe that it is possible to divide debt and save to invest.
Okay.
So irrespective of how much debt you have, the first step is to believe. You have to believe it's possible, because without believing, then you can't do it. But when you believe, when you're conscious of that fact, when you believe, that's when you're ready, to begin to take steps. So the first point you gave is that you must believe that it's possible. Yes. Then the second one, he said, what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Now that's if you were talking in regards of if you're making $1,000 and you have a base of 2,000. So the second point you gave, what is the way forward now? How can I invest? How can I save to invest? Since my income is just $1,000 and I have a bill of $2,000. Then the third point you gave, you said you are working for Uncle Sam. That was quite interesting and all that. I knew someone was writing under the comments in the morning, what is Uncle Sam and all that. So when you follow the series this week, you're going to know what Uncle Sam is. You're working for Uncle Sam. That was quite intriguing to me, and I'm not going to dabble into that. I'll let you do that, Pastor, but I was really blessed by that point. You're working for Uncle Sam. Then point 4 was, what does it mean working for Uncle Sam? What does working for Uncle Sam mean? That's number 4. What does working for Uncle Sam mean? Then number 5 said, don't be deceived. The world system is not in your favor. They enslave you. That was another intriguing point, because, different people in different parts of the world, they argue, and struggle how this country is better. Africans feel that America is the promised land, maybe let's say Jamaicans, those who are in different parts of the world, they are running to other areas. Maybe when I get to Britain, everything will be answered and all that. But from that point, it got dawned on me that there is actually no system in the world that is working in your favor. So you do not need to rely on any system. And it brings back home to me the understanding that, what makes a man or what makes a man rich is not your location, is not the society you live in, is not the country you live in. If you are going to doubt me, most of those countries you're in and you're lamenting that you are not wealthy, that you're struggling and everything, there are millionaires also in that country. There are people that are doing well. So it's only a sign that you can also do well. It's simply because there is something you don't know. So every country of the world have those who are down and out and have the rich. So if that is the case, it simply means in every continent, in every part of the world, in every country, people can be rich and people can be poor. So the thing you should be doing is not to start looking for where you run around and how you escape to which part of the world and everything. There is actually nowhere it's safe. The only safety you can have is to get knowledge and develop yourself. So, I like one thing you do say, Pastor. You said, even if they take everything I have today from me, even if, the people try to destroy me and collect everything I've ever labored for and throw me into a desert, you said, even in that desert, I'll stay in that desert and germinate. Because what makes Pastor Sunday is not prosper on the physical. Yeah, you'll prosper. What makes me is not what I have on the physical, it's internal. So, no country, no system of the world is working in your favor. Whether you're in America, there are so many people in America under financial struggles. It's even worse there itself. They don't even have any rest. People even have leisure in Nigeria more than America. So,
yes.
In America, they're always on their toe, working around the clock, no rest, working so much for the money that you're not even seeing. And that point really brought it home to me. Britain, people in Britain are also suffering from the same thing. A lot of people in Europe are struggling and all that. So there is actually no part of the world that you say, this is your promised land. The moment I get here, all my problems are answered. It does not matter, even if you're in America, if you don't know the principles, you're still going to live as a slave to the system. If you're in Africa, you don't know the system, you're still going to struggle. You're in Britain, no matter the part of the world you're in. So location is not the problem now, because the whole system of the world is not working in your favor. So the next time, before you think of relocation or you're looking for greener pastures, have this understanding that no system in the world, be it capitalism or whatever you want to call it and everything, is not in your favor. Capitalism, communism, no one is in your favor. So, there is a make-believe that capitalism is better than communism and all that, whichever one you're for or against. The point for me today is that just know that the world system is not in your favor at the end of the day.
Yes, before you continue, somebody is asking how to add me on Facebook. By the way, many people are also complaining that they don't receive notifications.
Yeah.
The reason why you don't receive notification when I come on is because you didn't like my page. This is my page. Some of you like the program, you like the message, you like the articles, but you have not liked the main Facebook page. So if you are here and I want you to check if you have liked my main Facebook page, you need to like the main Facebook page. Then and every time I come on, it will send you a notification that I'm on. So go and check. Have you liked the main page itself, the public page of Pastor Sunday? You must like it. You must press the like. It doesn't cost you anything. Just make sure you like the main page, okay? Then it will be coming to you. Yes, madam.
Yeah, then the sixth point was, you are helping your slave master to enslave you by wanting to live like the rich. That is actually what is very common. They feel you want to have everything now. You want to live in all the comfort there could be and everything, measuring your life with those who are well-to-do, without even understanding. You just see somebody that maybe is using this today, using that today. You don't want to know where they started from. It's more like, for instance, Pastor, somebody sees you now without knowing your story and sees the kind of mansion you're in, and a young pastor is I want to have the kind of house Pastor Sunday has and everything about him. He wants to live your lifestyle and all that without following the process and everything it took you before you even got to that point. So because of that, they begin to enslave themselves by that wanting to like the rich, which is beyond what you are earning. You're helping your slave master to enslave you. And that was actually very striking, because, how can a slave be helping the slave master to enslave the person? A lot of people don't see it that way. They just see it as, I want comfort, or I want this one, I'm trying to impress, I'm trying to look good, I'm trying to feel among. But actually, you are helping yourself, you're helping your slave master to enslave you. You're actually giving, a padlock to your slave master to handcuff you with your chains. So that's actually how it got to me this morning. So let's stop helping our slave masters to enslave us. Pastor is going to elaborate on these topics. I'm just reading them. Then point 7, you said, when you're under the influence of your cultural demand, you are enslaved. You are enslaved. So a lot of times, the culture we are in, or the society we are in, or our environment puts us under so much pressure to live in a particular way and everything. You want to do what other people are doing. You have to attend parties because your friends are inviting you. You have to meet up with this one. You have to meet up with that one. You have to sew that family dress, even if you don't need it. You have to sew the other uniform. You have to contribute for this. So when you're under that influence, you are a slave to that system. So point 8 said, if you find yourself in a situation where your expenses is more than your income, you have broken financial laws. If you find yourself in a situation where your expenses is more than your income, you have broken financial laws. So just take an inventory of yourself. What's your situation now? Are your expenses more than your income? Then just know that you're breaking financial laws. And Pastor gave us a list of the financial laws you're breaking if your expenses is more than your income. So the first one was, never spend money on what you can do without. Pastor taught on that. The video is already on YouTube and everything, so you can go back to check and everything. Never eat your tomorrow's bread today. Never eat your tomorrow's bread today. He also taught of that on that too. So never obey the dictates of money. You have to be in charge of your life. Don't let money dictate to you. A lot of people, they will live their normal lives and all that, but the moment money comes into their pocket, if they've not finished spending it, they will not rest. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, things start coming into your mind that you need to buy, you need to get. There is something you said sometime, Pastor, when you were teaching us. You said that if money controls how you feel, then you're a slave to money. You're not a master of money yet. Saying if money being in your pocket either makes you happy, being in or not being in, either makes you happy or sad, then you know that you're not free yet, that you're a slave to money. So some people are not happy when they don't have money. All of a sudden, there is this unusual excitement the moment a little money enters into your pocket. So if you're still at that state, just know that you are not free yet. You're not financially free. You're still under the bondage of money. So let's free from
tell
that.
them that, how is my pocket always?
Yeah, so taking an example from Pastor and everything, Pastor he never carries money around. I don't think I've ever seen $1 in your pocket before. You never carry money around for anything. So it's amazing. Never. You don't carry money, never in your pocket and all that. And
no credit card, no
credit card, no nothing, not physical cash though, not physical cash in your pocket and everything. So you're a master, you're in charge. So money, whether money is there or money is not there, is not, it's not making any difference to you and all that. And that was actually very striking, because I never had that before until I met you. How can, someone would say, how can a grown man like me be going out without any money in my pocket and everything and all that? So the what shows that you're grown from where you are coming from is how much you can hold in your pocket when you're walking around and everything. So that kind of gives some people a kind of sense of fulfillment, a kind of, that, I don't know, assurance of, I don't know how it does to people, but they just feel that importance when they know they have, a lot of money in their pocket. But that is the reverse case is for you and everything. And this brings back home that everything Pastor is teaching or he has written is the principles he has lived by and is working for him. So if it's working for him, it has worked for thousands of people he has taught, it has worked for me, then it can work for you. So let's make sure we don't miss any of those days, because like I said, this is a week of deliverance for a lot of people, restoration, and a time for shift in your finances and in your life. Yeah. So, point, what did we stop on? That was 8. Then, sorry, not 8. That was 11. Then 12. Money must be retained. So money is not meant to spend.
That's the next law that you have
Yeah, the
alluded.
next law. Yeah. Money is not meant to be spent. It's meant to be retained. It's meant to be retained. So, you know, according to Money Will Make You Rich and everything, you say that the servants, money will make you rich. You said that the servant, in that scripture, the master called him a wicked servant because even though he hid that his money, you know, he didn't retain it. Because he did not invest it, the value of the money depreciated. So that's another point. So as you're saving, you don't just go and stock your money somewhere and everything and just leave it, or just keep your money somewhere and you don't put it to work for you. The value of that money will depreciate. Let's say, for instance, you know, let's say you had like $1,000 years back. You know, the value of $1,000 10 years back is not the same value today. So if you just kept that money in the safe somewhere, or just lock it in the box and you did not invest, you didn't do anything without it, by today that $1,000 is not going to have the same value it had 10,000 years ago. So you didn't retain it. It has depreciated. So money is to be retained. And for you to retain the value of money, you have to invest it. You have to put it to work. It has to work for you, and by so doing, you can retain the value and also have interest on it. Then the next law you should have been breaking, if your expenses is more than your income, it simply is that money is not meant to be spent. So your first inclination when money comes into your hand is not to spend it. You know, according to Money Will Make You Rich again, that law says that when you have money, money is to be multiplied. You have to multiply the money that is in your hand. And Pastor actually says something. He said you should multiply the money you have at least 3 times before you even think of spending out of it. So the first inclination for money is not to spend it. Don't spend it. Go think of how to multiply it, how to multiply that thing God has given to you. Steal from that Matthew when the master was talking and everything. He called a servant that was able to multiply what he gave to them. Good and faithful servant. So you have to, when God gives you something, when he gives you a resource, what you have to be thinking of is multiplication, not spending, not consumption. So begin to think, how can I multiply this money? If God gave you $1,000, start thinking of how you can multiply $1,000 to make it 2,000. To make it 2,000, not to think of how you're going to do what? Consume it. Alright, so until you can multiply it 3 times, you are not qualified to spend it. That's actually profound. I don't know if you've ever had something like that before. It's only from Pastor Sunday you hear something like that. So you multiply it 3 times before you can have the comfort of saying you're going to spend from that resources. So
I'm seeing a lot of stars, a lot of love sign from your husband.
Oh, hello, sweetness. So yeah, that's it. So money is not to be sent. Then the 14th point, we've ended with the loss of money you're breaking now. So number 14 was, now that I'm in this kind of situation, what do I do now? All right, yeah, you're in this state now. You didn't hear this early. Oh, had I known, I didn't hear this on time, I didn't know this and all that, I'm already having credit card, I'm already having that one, I'm already in so debt. Now that I'm in this situation, what do I do now? Yeah, Pastor is going to tell you what to do now in this week. That's why you can't afford to miss it. Don't miss out on any of the sections 2 times a day. So he's going to be telling you, now that you're in this situation, now that your expenses is more than your income, what you're going to do. So yes, that is what you're going to do basically. And when you were talking in the morning, he said for you to give them 2 points on what to do now. That first of all, that they have to examine their life. They have to sit down and examine their life. Do an inventory of your income. Do an inventory from when you start having your income. Do an inventory of all your income and your expenses, you know, to see how you've been managing it and how your expenses have been going. So you have to sit down and do that inventory yourself. Point 15, to overcome financial crisis, you must overcome the poverty of the mind. So poverty is not actually of the pocket, it's of the mind. So you're poor not because you never had anything in your pocket. You're poor because you lack the understanding of how to put what you have in your pocket to work. And when I was reading Money Will Make You Rich and all that some time ago, in this book, Pastor was explaining how even if you're a cleaner, how if you were able to save, let's even say as small as $10 from when you started earning money, how much you would have gotten by 10 years time and everything, and if you've invested that, what it would have been. So the problem you have is not that your income is low. No. I know that's the excuse a lot of people want to give. I'm looking for a job, I'm believing God, to get a bigger income and everything. But the truth is that if you're still poor in your mind, even if your pocket becomes as big as pastor's house, definitely you're still going to empty it, because as you increase in your income, your needs are going to increase. It's just natural. That is, the human appetite is insatiable. So if you do not have the understanding, if you're poor in your mind, there is no way you can be rich. So that is what Pastor is going to do for you in this week's series. He's going to empower your mind. Your mind is about to get rich. And the moment you become rich in your mind, it's going to automatically affect your pocket. The same way when you were poor in your affected your pocket. So it's just a change, it's a mind shift. So don't miss this, your chance of deliverance. Restoration is about to come your way. I'm a product of what I'm telling you, so you don't want to miss it. I'm actually so excited about this teaching. I'm excited about the series Pastor is going to be doing. So poverty is a thing of the mind, not thing of the pockets, because if you were rich in your mind, even if you were a truck pusher, by today you'll be better than what you were 5 years ago. Now 16 point, this is actually gave me so much understanding. Life takes away from those who don't have and gives it to those who have, or from those who don't do anything with what they have and gives it to those who do something with what they have. Pastor, I used to read the story with the master and the faithful and unfaithful servants and everything. And I used to question, most times when I would read that scripture and everything, I would say, but why would God take it from him, that one talent, and not give it to others and everything? So today everything just came to me when you just brought this one. It just struck me, and I started remembering all those questions I've been questioning, because I was feeling it's not fair. He doesn't have, so why is God taking it from him to give it to someone that already have and all that? So, and remember, who God even gave is the one with the 10 talents. So why was it so and all that? So this principle just brought everything life. So if God has given you something and you're not putting it to work and all that, life will take it away from you. It's a principle. It's in the Bible. It's the scripture. So it's not anybody's fault. I was listening to Jim Rohn some days back and everything, and he was saying something that they did an inventory and a research, and someone was teaching and said that if they took all the money in the world and divided it equally to everybody's pocket, that within a year or two that money will return back to the pockets of those who are rich and everything. So the difference is that these people that knows what to do with their money or is putting it to work, indirectly the money is still going to go back to them, because riches, you actually, let's say we usually say that money will develop wings. So when you're spending it, definitely money goes to those who knows how to use put money to work, who knows the laws, who knows how to get money to work for them. Not those who are enslaved to money, but those who are masters of money. So it's just natural, it's a law, it's principle, and it's not as if God is partial, God is not wicked, but it is your ignorance that have put you on that side of that side of the equation, so you can actually cross over to this other side by getting knowledge. And that is why you have to stay put this week. Don't let anything distract you this week from getting your deliverance. And if by chance you miss any of the sections, make sure you get the videos. Point 17, Stop spending. This was actually very beautiful. It was very captivating for me. Start spending what you don't have to buy what you don't need for those who don't really care. So it was quite interesting. Stop spending what you don't have to buy what you don't need for those who don't really care. You know, a lot of times and everything, we are just so under compulsion of buying this, buying that, you know, and everything. Helping that. This one costs and this one costs. You just put yourself in that position and all that. Let's say, okay, let's go back home to our country, Nigeria, and everything. You know, Christmas time is more like it's compulsory and everything. You have to go to the village. You have to. A lot of people even come back from Christmas celebration and they go bankrupt in their businesses and everything because they spend all their earnings in the village and all that just to look good and to feel good. You don't need that, so you don't really need to impress anybody. So start spending what you don't have to buy what you don't need for those who don't really care. Yeah. 18. Work to pay yourself to build and invest in your future. So isn't it so, how will I put it? Isn't it sad that you work so hard, paying everybody, pay for your mortgage, pay for your car this, pay for your house this, pay for your clothes this, but the only person that don't get paid is you. So you work so hard, around the clock, maybe 18 hours, some people are even taking 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and out of everything you're earning, you are not paying yourself anything. You pay every other person but you. And due to that effect, you have nothing to build on or to invest in your future. So that is a big problem right there. So if you don't learn to pay yourself, if you don't learn to keep aside part of your income for yourself, definitely there is little or how far you're going to go as long as financial freedom is concerned. So learn to pay yourself before you pay any other person. The first person you should pay before you pay another person is you. Why? You're the one that made the money. So it's only right for you to pay yourself first. So the question should be that when you sit there and say, okay, out of my income, how much am I paying myself? And whatever you pay yourself is not for spending, remember, it's for investment. You have to use it to build yourself for the future. Then, point 19, you make less and need to spend more. If you make less and need to spend more, sit down and do a critical analysis of your expenses. So if you sit down and do a critical analysis of your expenses, you will discover that most of the things you actually spend money on, they actually are things you can do without. So if you don't sit down and do that, you wouldn't know and everything. You know, I got to do that this week and discovered that some of the things that I was thinking are necessities are actually not necessities. They are not actually what I need or maybe what I need, but what I cannot do without. So it's not every need you have you should even meet. If you can do without it, then it's not necessary. Some needs can be delayed. If it's just like Pastor said in the morning, it's another point. Let me not go to that first. You know, so yeah, so you sit down and do that critical analysis for yourself. Point 20. Learn to live by the law of never spend on what you can do without. Force yourself to obey that law. Never spend on what you can do without. You know, it's not going to be easy. Just like Paul said, I subject myself daily. Discipline. So you have to, you know, discipline yourself. It's not going to be easy, you know, at the early stages and all that. Maybe some discomforts, but those temporary discomforts, if that's the price you have to pay for your future, then it's not going to destroy you. You know, pay that price to have your freedom. Do you want to live as a slave to Uncle Sam forever? No, I don't think so. So you have to pay that little price of self-discipline so that you can live financially free. Then point 20 says, learn to live by the law of, that's what we just said now. Point 21, ask yourself, if I don't spend this money, will I die? That was very interesting. If I don't spend this money, will I die? So when you enter the shopping mall and all that, when you want to get those things and all that, ask yourself, this thing I want to buy, if I don't buy this thing, am I going to die? So in other words, can I really do without this thing I'm going to get? If I can do without it, then save that money, keep that money. You don't need to spend it. Pastor said, except it's a do or die affair, then don't spend that money. As long as you're not going to die if you don't spend it, save that money, keep it to build your investment for the future. Then 22 said, cut off all expenses and that make you to eat your tomorrow's bread today. Cut off all expenses that make you to eat your tomorrow's bread today. So if you don't do those analysis, you're not going to know the expenses that make you eat your tomorrow's bread today. So I think one of the things you should do is to sit down and put a limit on, this is what I'm going to spend, for this season and all that. So every other expenses, things you can do without, that you're not going to die if you don't get it, just remove it. You might not be comfortable at the time and all that. All those other excesses and everything, those extra candies after your food, those extra dessert that you don't need, you can cut it off. At the end of the day, you're actually going to be doing yourself more help. At least you drop some pounds, in response to also saving and enlarging your pocket, you drop some pounds too. So, those expenses that is making you eat your tomorrow's bread today, cut it off. That was actually another very beautiful point for me. Point 23 said, draw a checklist of the people and things taking away your money. Draw a checklist of the things and the people taking away your money. So some of those friends that make you spend so much, that persuade you, let's hang out, let's eat out today, let's go to this spot, let's go to the other place, it's actually time you get to start reducing some of them. And those things too that make you spend, those unnecessary movies you have to buy tickets for, those unnecessary vacations that you cannot afford for the now, those unnecessary seeds that is not in any way bringing more money into your pocket. You have to take a list of some of those pastors that have been manipulating you, some of the churches that have been manipulating you, seed faith, harvest faith, all the faiths you can talk about. It's high time you sit down and start removing that. Stop living in deception. Don't allow anybody or anything to take away your money. It is high time you begin to pay yourself first and invest into your future. At the end of the day, if you don't do it, guess who is going to suffer? You. So if you want to live a financially free life, my friend, you want to abide by these laws and you don't want to miss any day of this section. So draw that checklist. It will help you a lot. Point 24 says, make another list of your compulsory expenses. Be careful not to increase the list. Make another list of compulsory expenses. So you sit down, bring out the list. Let's say monthly. What are the things that are compulsory? Underline that word. Compulsory things you need, your necessities, what your life depends on, those things that are very compulsory. Make that list and don't just increase it recklessly. Stay by that list. Discipline yourself to stay by that list and control your spending. Spend within the means of your compulsory list. So make sure you have those two lists, the first list and the second list. Very important. Point 25, you need to learn to distribute your income in the order of importance. You need to distribute your income, learn to distribute your income in the order of importance. And the number one person that is important here is you. So before you distribute the income, make sure you pay yourself. And as you're paying yourself, that is the part that goes for saving, for investment. So apart from God, after you've given to God, then that's your 10%, your tithe. Then the next person to be paid is you. So after you've paid yourself, before you can think of any other thing you need, or even food save, any other thing you need has to come after you have paid yourself, after you've paid God and you've paid yourself. So don't forget that was point 25. Then point 26, you need to cultivate a culture of saving 30% of your income. Pastor said you need to cultivate a habit of saving 30%. But I actually think, for me, I feel you should learn to live on 50% of your income. 10% goes to God, and the other 30%, 30 to 40% goes for your saving, and you live on 50%. So if you can control yourself to live on 50%, you will do yourself a great good. So 30% at least, and Pastor says, he said, if you're already in debt and you're struggling, and 30% is going to be too difficult for you, that you could learn to start from 10% at least, to set aside 10%, but aim at getting to 30%. So you can actually keep doing that. By the time you get comfortable at the level of 10, you increase it to 15, to 20, to 30, and if you can get to 50, oh, that's beautiful. So the higher you can go, the better for you. The richer you become, the more you have to invest and build into the future you want. But the point Pastor gave is cultivate that culture. At least save 30% of your income. Point 27, if you are really overburdened with debt, then you can start from 10%. I already talked on that. Point 28, the purpose of saving is to invest. Like we said, you don't just save and just leave your bag of money somewhere. You have to invest. You have to put it to work in order for you to retain it. So it's not enough to save. After you have saved, the next point is investment. So you have to begin to, as you're thinking of saving, begin to study and read on different areas of investment, in which area would you like to invest. So as you're saving, think of things you would like to invest in and get the necessary advice, the knowledge, the researches you need to do. Another point, you don't want to finish saving and do the wrong investment. So yeah, you save to invest, so it has to be balanced. As much as you're saving, do a thorough research before you part away with your money that you're investing in anything. Never invest in anything you don't have full knowledge of. Just like Pastor said, don't take a stand on belief or trust. Don't just believe or trust anybody so you don't lose all your savings. So the purpose of saving is investment. Point 29. You must be radical in your commitment to the laws of money. You must be radical. And if there is anybody I know that is radical when it comes to any decision or anything he wants to do, is Pastor. So you have to be very radical. You have to take some drastic steps. You have to take some drastic measures. Because if you're looking for or waiting for when it's going to be convenient for you, my dear, it will never be convenient. There is actually no better time, or the time is going to be very okay for you to start saving. So if you don't cultivate that habit now that you're earning little, don't kid yourself. When you begin to have much too, you're not going to be able to do that too. Why? Because the more your income increases, the more the expenses. So you have to discipline yourself to do that now. If you're going to learn, it starts today. So don't give yourself any excuse, when they now put my raise, when I get a better job. No, procrastination is not a friend to success. So you have to start today. Take that drastic decision today. Discipline yourself. Be radical about it. Let people even ask you if you're going crazy. Go crazy today for a better future tomorrow. So you have to be very, very, very radical about obeying the laws of money if you want to change. You cannot continue to do what you've been doing all your life and suddenly expect a change. If there is going to be a change, then there is going to be a change in the way you do things. So you have to change to obeying the laws of money. Point 30. Your financial fulfillment in life does not depend on how much you make, but how you are able to manage what you make. So it's one thing to make a lot of money, is another thing to be a good manager. So if you're not a good manager, you're as poor as a person that is not making much. So it doesn't matter how much you make. If you cannot manage your wealth, if you cannot manage your resources, your situation is actually pitiful, because you're going to be consuming everything and you're going to be at the same level with the person that's not even earning much. So the person that is even earning little and have a good management skill will be better off at the end of the day than you that have so much and you cannot manage. Opportunity, they say, means the prepared. There is actually nothing like the word luck. The only thing I can see and say is luck in this life is for those who are those who have prepared, those who are ready. They are the ones that when those opportunities come, they grab it. So they say he's lucky. No, he's not lucky. He's been preparing, he's ready. So it's more like an opportunity to invest comes. It might be so wonderful. But if you are not saving and you do not have the capital for the investment, how are you going to invest? You say your luck passes you by and everything. So the only people that are lucky in life are those who are prepared, those who can take advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. So this drives me home to, how God delivered me from this whole thing after I read Money Will Make You Rich and I started doing a little saving and all that and everything. And it was more like we were walking that day, Pastor, when that opportunity came up and everything, and I told you, okay, I've saved so amount of money, and I kept it. I don't want to touch it. I'm looking for investment and all that. And I said, yeah, you will see and everything. And I was looking for what to invest in, and all of a sudden that opportunity came that day. And he just told me, said, it's from now till evening. If you can get that money, they are going to invest it for you. And wow, that was how it all started. But if I didn't have that at that time, that golden opportunity would have slipped me by. And that leads to that token that I invested has turned into what it has become today. So opportunity. If you are not prepared, it will slip you by. Pastor has made so many people into millionaires, 200 millionaires in 3 years. But let me also let you know that there are those who are around him too that don't have enough to eat. Why? Those who, know him. Why? Because they have not taken those teachings and all that. So it's not location that is going to change that. It's knowledge. So it's not as if maybe as I'm saying that it's okay because of where you are or something. But when you get the knowledge, you read the book and you begin to apply it, it's going to work for you. It's not about location. It's not location at all. There are so many millionaires he has made, and there are so many people who don't even know they are his disciples, that he has a book called Money Will Make You Rich. They are his disciples. They are struggling financially, and he has restored a lot of people from financial depression. So it's actually about your own desire. What do you desire? Do you want to be financially free? Are you ready to pay the price of financial freedom? Do you want to discipline yourself? Do you want to cut down on your expenses? So take advantage of the opportunity you have today to begin to save. Now you've heard it. A lot of people might say, I wish I heard this 10,000 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 5 years ago. Okay, thank God you're hearing it today. Some people still have not heard it. What are you going to do with this information Pastor is going to be giving this week? I believe you should sit put and get all you can get. Ask questions as much as you can ask in the comment section, as Pastor is going to be addressing these topics this week. Get your financial freedom twice a day. You don't want to miss that. Basically on this financial series, you don't want to miss it for anything in the world. And if by chance you miss it, make sure you listen to the video, get all the knowledge, and put it to work. So many people know so much. They've read this book, they read that one, but they are not applying it. The only way this can work for you is when you begin to apply it, is when you put that knowledge to work. So let's all work on what Pastor is going to teach us today. Let's be set free. Let's be empowered so we can actually bring the kingdom to earth. It's actually time for the believers to be empowered and to be set free financially. So let's vote for financial freedom by beginning to discipline ourselves and beginning to obey the laws of money.
Beautiful, Dr. Sufficient.
Thank you, Pastor.
You are walking in the light already.
Thank you.
Someone said, I want to run with this information.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
It's time to bring liberty. Now, let's talk about Nigeria, where we're both coming from. Okay. I'm starting Nigerian Reformation Project. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this topic, what do you think this topic, what impact can it make on Nigeria? Because I wrote this book, Nigerian Transformation. If you've not gotten your book, please go get it and let me have your feedback. This is the book I'm using to be my launching book for Nigeria, to resolve the problem of Nigeria. And it's for every Nigerian and everybody from any country also. This book will help you to restore your country as well. But the most important thing is that I'm going back to Nigeria maybe next year with about 200 people. And the question I'm having is, when we go back, this information that I'm releasing now about educating people about, on money, do you think it could be a key to also liberating and helping the people of our country?
100%, Pastor. 100%. If there is any people on this planet that needs, it's Nigerians. That's actually in one area we are weak. A lot of people are not financially empowered because of ignorance. An average Nigerian doesn't really have the culture of saving. Basically, we just live on salaries and all that at the month end. Some people even spend their salaries before it even comes in and all that, especially civil servants and all that. And the reason being that, okay, we don't have enough and different kinds of complaints, scarcity of this, the government is doing that, we can, if you're looking for excuses, you always get excuses. So I believe actually this message, this series of doing now is actually a liberation. It's going to be wonderful for Nigeria and for the church in Nigeria. I don't know, but I have so much passion for the church in Nigeria. I believe it's going to bring a turnaround, because so much deception have been going on in the church, in the body of Christ, and people that are supposed, children of God that are supposed to be kings have been turned to slaves. It's going to bring restoration. It's going to bring a change. It's going to bring turnaround. And I want to beckon on all pastors too, those who are privileged. If you have these videos, you could send it to your pastors. Some of them, they are not doing it because they are wicked, but they don't know any better. So we have to share it with your friends. Invite your friends for this week's teaching. Everybody needs to hear this. I believe it's going to bring a great change to Nigeria and the world at large, not just Nigeria. But this plague is in the church in Nigeria and all that. Mismanagement of funds and, the burden of the whole so-called prosperity message have been turned to something else in the church in Nigeria. And all that has to end. Because people has turned the church to a center of gambling. They are just like you taught us, Pastor, it's just 2% of life. 98% of life is principles. You're not supposed to be living, depending all your life on 2%, something that's going to just have 2% chance of occurrence. So you can't just buckle your destiny because you heard one person give testimony. How do your own logic work? Let's say a church of 1,000 and only one person is giving testimony that because I sowed seed, I got this. And you keep on sowing because of one testimony. How about the other 999 that has not happened to? So these are not the things we should live by. We are meant to live by principles. God gave us principles. So let's learn these principles and bring liberation to the church in Nigeria. So let's spread this news around. Don't let anybody take your money. As you are informed, inform other people and empower them. We need to stop the manipulations. People need to be delivered, so the level of poverty in the church will be reduced. Pastors need to be financially educated so they could empower their members, because I believe the church is supposed to be the place where the light will be shone from. People will get knowledge and not to be manipulated and carried in worst form of ignorance. So if the church is now ignorant, what is the hope of the society? So the church needs to be empowered, and for the church to be empowered, this message has to be taught. And thanks to you, Pastor, for taking the bold step to speak in areas where no one will want to speak, even if they know, because they don't want to offend people. And I really, really, really appreciate your courage and your ability to stand out and to speak against the things that are wrong in the body of Christ. So it's going to be a wonderful one for Nigeria, definitely. Why? Because the plague is there, the difficulties are there, the poverty is there, and these are all due to the lack of understanding of the principles of money, the lack of understanding of financial management. So yeah, I believe it's going to bring a big restoration to Nigeria as a nation, because if the church gets it right, it's going to spread like wildfire in Nigeria. Why? Because you said something that a nation is greatly influenced by the educational system and the religious system of the society. But in our nation, Nigeria, I think the influence of the religious sector is greater than education in most times when it comes to how the society turns out. So if the religious sector gets it right, then liberation will hit the nation. So I believe you're on the right track, Pastor, and I am so grateful this message is coming now, and I just want everyone to take advantage of it, because what Pastor is given free of charge, you would have paid thousands for it in seminars you even go for on finances and pay so much for. Don't have 50% of the content Pastor is giving free of charge. So take advantage of this opportunity and use it. You know, this thing is coming to you in the comfort of your house. You don't need to travel to anywhere. You're not paying anything to get this knowledge. Take advantage of it. After this series, if you do not use what you're hearing, you don't take advantage of it, you cannot blame God anymore, because God has done the greatest provision for you. And stop praying for provision, because God has answered your prayers. These teachings are the provisions you've been praying for. So take advantage of these teachings and you will be liberated financially. So to your question, yes, Pastor, it's going to bring a great shift in the church and Nigeria as a whole. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, talking about Nigeria, I want everybody to know that I'm starting a group, Nigerian Transformation, whereby I'm taking 200 people with me from here, from Ukraine to Nigeria, and 2,000 people from all over the world to rebuild Africa, to rebuild Nigeria. So if you are interested, please write to Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. So if you are interested in moving with me to Africa and contributing something, and you want to know more information, write to Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. Or you could write to me directly, pastor at godembassy.org. We are taking, as many people from all over the world. You don't need to be in Nigeria. You can be a Japanese, you can be an Australian, you can be an American, you can be a European. You want to go to Africa to contribute, please, write to me and we'll send you more information, all right? Well, from tomorrow, things are going to change. We are not more going to do for a week. This coming week, we are not going to be doing reviews this week. We are going to be doing, instead of doing reviews, we are going to be doing 2 teachings every day, in the morning and in the evening. I'll be starting in the morning and continuing in the evening, but different points. Taking 2 points, maybe 1 or 2 points at a time, so that we'll be able to finish and give you this revelation as fast as possible. Let's go and share the link. Let's go and share this message. Let's share it with our friends. Let's, spread the word, and let's bring deliverance and healing to a lot of people. All right? So we'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 9:30 our time. That is 7:30 Nigerian time, 7:30 British time, 8:30 European time, and in America 2:30 a.m. 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. That is in the morning. But in the evening, 9 p.m. my time. That is 7 p.m. British time, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, and 2 p.m. Eastern time in America. And if you don't have this book, Money Won't Make You Rich, you need it, because this book will really prepare you, and much more things are written in this book that will deliver you. Okay, so go get it in any bookstore, in any Christian bookstore, or on Amazon. And this book on Nigeria also is on Amazon. So let's go for it, and let's change our lives for better, and let's change the life of people around us. God bless. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.